The 1973 NBA playoffs pitted the Chicago Bulls against the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers in a battle that was not settled until the final 7th game in Los Angeles. Big Will Chamberlain excelled in his new specialty, the assist. Jim McMillan's scoring kept the Lakers close. But the pressing Chicago defense, led by Norm Van Leer, kept the Bulls in front through most of the contest. In fact, it was only in the last minute that the Lakers regained the lead, but Chicago was still on the move. Superstar Jerry West displayed the talent that caused him to be on the NBA All-Defensive Team again. With just seconds to go, he turned a bull attack into a Lakers score, and Los Angeles advanced into the second round as their fans went wild. The other Western Conference match was thought to be a romp for the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar-led Milwaukee Bucks. Last year, they beat these same Golden State Warriors in just 5 games. But these Warriors were not the same as last year. 7-year veteran Clyde Lee took command of both backboards and got the Golden State offense started, an offense led by the returning Rick Barry. After Milwaukee took the first 2 out of 3 games, the underdog Warriors kept coming on. Nate Thurman showed why Jabbar rates him the toughest opponent in the NBA, as Golden State upset Milwaukee in 6 games, and their fans went wild. The Boston Celtics had the best record in the league this season. The Atlanta Hawks have the talent, but can't seem to win. As the experts predicted, Boston took the first 2 games, and rather easily. But then Atlanta fans had plenty to cheer about as Walt Bellamy led the Hawks back home trailing only 3 games to 2. The Hawks had to win this one to stay alive, and they seemed to be blowing Boston right off the court. But suddenly Atlanta faltered against Dave Cowens and the Boston defense, and Atlanta fans got an unwelcome display of Celtic lightning as Boston hit for 22 unanswered points as the men from Beantown advanced to the next round to meet the winner of the New York-Baltimore series. The Knicks and Bullets have met in playoff competition many times. It's always a dogfight with these two clubs. The New York defense and team play held the powerful Bullets to just 85 points in the opening game. The Knicks continued to find the open man with their skillful offense and won the first 2 games in Madison Square Garden before the series moved to Baltimore. In Baltimore, the Bullets came to life as Archie Clark spearheaded a strange lineup of 2 centers and 3 guards. Former Knick Mike Reardon had been converted from guard to one of the smallest forwards in the NBA. But the New York defense held well in Baltimore, and the battles became tougher as the Bullets were only able to split on their home court. Walt Frazier was playing brilliantly, averaging over 20 points a game. Back in New York, Dave DeBusschere kept slamming the boards, and Earl Monroe led the scoring against his former teammates as the Knicks won easily in 4 games to 1 for the right to bounce into the next round against the Boston Celtics. The Celtics versus the Knicks was the series Eastern Conference buffs had dreamed about, and it opened in Boston on April 15th. It was the high-scoring Celtic machine against the toughest defense in the NBA. The Celtics, led by Captain John Havlicek, rolled up 134 points to take the opener. 3 nights later, Knicks fans gave the Celtics a Madison Square Garden welcome and pleaded with the Knicks to square the series. Willis Reed, Dave DeBusschere, and company complied by holding the Celts to 96 points and rolling up 129 themselves, a fact that did nothing to lighten the heart of Boston coach Tom Heinsohn. Back in Boston, the New Yorkers continued their winning ways and took the series back to Gotham, leading 2 games to 1. They built it to 3-1 before the Celtics came back. In a crucial 6th game in New York, Boston achieved that rare distinction, a victory over the Knicks on their home court. The win was all the more notable because of the absence of the man usually found on either end of the Boston fast break, number 17, John Havlicek. Hondo had injured his right shoulder, and it was obvious he would not be 100% for the showdown game. Boston had other things going for it, however. They had never lost a 7-game playoff series, and the game was at Boston Gardens. But even the home court advantage couldn't stand up against the rampaging Knicks, who were now ready to take on the champions of the Western Conference. To decide who that would be, the Golden State Warriors traveled south to the Forum, hoping to add to their reputation as giant killers. The momentum built up against the Milwaukee Bucks was still moving for them in a tightly fought opening game. The Warriors and the Lakers were exchanging baskets as they had all season. Then the Los Angeles offense began to take charge. The Lakers came on to win the first game by 2 points and the second by 10 as they held a 2-zip advantage when the action moved north. Golden State coach Al Attles knew his Warriors had to win 2 at home to stay in there. But the Laker defense pressured the Warriors into mistakes. Mistakes that proved costly as the Lakers' fast break poured it on until the Los Angeles team had scored a 126-70 victory, the largest winning margin in playoff history. The Warriors gained a win in the fourth game, but the move south meant more trouble for the Golden State squad. Even the injured Happy Hairston got into the fifth game as the Lakers won the right to meet New York for the World Championship. The Lakers got the home court advantage and momentum as they won the opening game. But then, the vaunted Knicks defense tightened up, and over the next 3 games, they held the defending world champion Lakers to an average of only 92 points a game. The Knicks were playing their game, defense and teamwork, and their game was winning in Los Angeles and New York. Returning from New York, the Lakers had time to ponder. After 2 games on each court, they were down 3 games to 1. They were coming home for a showdown, and the stakes were high. The Lakers knew they had to throw every offensive punch they had in order to come back, and they got their big guns going. But the stingiest defense in basketball features fighters with sticky fingers, the kind that steal basketballs. And it features defenders who stick as close as a uniform and block perfectly good shots. Los Angeles had beaten the Knicks for the championship last year, but the New York defense was making sure it didn't happen again. Laker coach Bill Sharman wanted to help, but he couldn't. Willis Reed, the Knicks captain, missed last year's championship playoff, but he was around this year to pick up the Most Valuable Player award. This year, it was the Knicks who would celebrate. As time ran out on the Lakers, New York reversed the previous year's record when Los Angeles took it 4 games to 1. Once again, it was the Knicks over the Lakers, and the new world champions had just enough fans 2,400 miles from home to help them celebrate.